SKOPE guest lecture series, we have with us one of the great personalities. Leadership, brilliance, untiring zest for excellence are the words that comes to our mind when we think about Mr. Alpesh Parikh. He is the man behind one of the successful country clubs in India, Gulmohar Greens Golf and Country Club Limited. It is a beautifully designed country club situated away from the hustle and bustle of city, incorporating all the amenities to serve everyone, from a kid to an oldie. Sir,
How could you get this profit margin going up? And that is through simple two things. It is either by getting your vendors, suppliers to offer you a better pricing on your product without compromising on the product that you're buying. You're getting them to give you a better price, a better payment terms, a better delivery supply so that your clients are more happier. Or the top line where you could bring in so much value to your client that he or she would be ready to give you that extra money. I'll tell you, my real business is not just Gulmohar Greens. My real business or my bread and butter is my real estate, because that's what I actually do. Gulmohar is a part of a 400-acre complex which I've eventually built right now. From a mere 30,000 square meter of land which I was holding on to, I am on to a 400-acre of project working on. And Gulmohar only constitutes 75 acres of land where we take memberships, we run a facility, a club, which does give us financial gains as well and a lot of name and fame. But the real bread and butter comes from the balance 300 acres where we actually sell real estate. We make houses for people. We make people invest there in the land around our facility. And that's where the a la cream of what we do comes in from. And the reason why we have people coming in there is simply because we give them so much more value addition to what they are going to park their money in. And they realize that, oh, this is so much so worthy of putting in here, because we did some innovation even in our real estate, what we sell, that people all of a sudden realize that comparing an apple to an apple next door, we would always be about 30% cheaper. So they would always feel, oh, these people are so much so economically priced. What are they doing? Let's get in here. And that's what really drives us, because that's what makes us afloat and keep growing on what we're doing. The issue of finance as a word. You all have lots of ideas, lots of things hovering in your mind. My first advice to all of you would be to keep it simple. Don't complicate your thought processes. Most of the times we fail because we complicate things beyond our own ability to solve them. We start thinking of how would I drive or how would I fly a Boeing 777 when I don't even have a Maruti 800 right now. So don't think about that. A lot of times we think about things which are so far-fetched that it's going to happen, but when you really come to the bridge, cross the bridge. Don't really worry about the bridge from day one, because if you're gonna be at a bridge, I'm sure you'll find a way to cross that bridge as well. But don't bring yourself down at this point in time thinking that that bridge is there and I don't have the money to buy the toll for that bridge. That's okay. You have a journey to reach that bridge. You'll probably earn enough to get enough toll to cross that bridge. And putting that in simple words, coming back to the main word, financing. If you have a strong product, and if you think, and this is especially for either startups or anybody who's trying to get in investors in it to get your product on the shelf or getting it out to sell the thing, it's so important that when you will need finance, and the most easiest way of doing it is make your investor feel that it is now they need to park the money, otherwise they are going to be the losers, not you. Unless and until you can't make them feel that, nobody is going to park their money with you, because nobody has spare funds for you. Remember, nobody has the spare fund. It's only you who has got to be so much convinced and make the other person convinced as well that, sir, madam, if you don't put your money in here, I'm going to walk out of this cabin, but the loser is you, not me. You've lost an opportunity. I came in here with an opportunity to serve you. Unfortunately, you could not grab it, and you're going to be the loser. And don't feel shy if you have to exactly say the same words when you walk out, because if you have the attitude, somebody will really call you back, because if he's a smart guy, and if he understands your project well, he will actually call you back after 2 days and say, hey, I don't want to lose the opportunity, come back. So don't feel that because I am so small, I don't have money in my pocket, I will bend. I will bend and change everything what he wants me to do because I want the money. I said that earlier also. It's very difficult to say no, but it's important at times to say no. So if you believe in what you're doing and if you're convinced in what you're doing, understand you know more about it than the other person whom you're trying to sell this to. So he or she may just, for the heck of a discussion, might say, but why don't we do it this way? Or assuming you're making a movie, directing a movie, and you need 100,000 bucks or say 100 crore to make a movie, and you don't have that much in your pocket, so you go to a big financer and say, why not do this? And you say, no, but I don't want the hero to be 50-year-old, let's have a young guy, there's no more the time. But if you're convinced the hero's got to be 50, he's got to be 50, forget it. It doesn't matter whether what the financer believes in. It's what you've believed because you've conceptualized a story which can only be done with an Amitabh Bachchan at 65-year-old. It cannot be done by a 20-year-old new actor. So point remains that these are just examples, very varied to put things in a perspective, but the point remains that when you make your project report, get into the minutest of detail, try and cover all base, and when you project it to someone, to an investor, have that confidence to say that it's something which they got to put in the money, otherwise they are at loss, because you're going to go out and speak to 20 people like them. He's not the only one. And just because you know him, you've come to him first, but there are 19 others behind you and somebody will take it. If not the first, probably the 19th. So it's up to them to take that opportunity and take it the first time they've had it on their platter. And with that attitude, I think you would not end up having problem. The hard truth, but you will fail. Having said all this, I have failed, and I failed a number of times. But don't be broken that you failed. It's only because we fail and we stand up again and learn from it and we climb again that we reach new heights. So don't be afraid that what if I will fail? Remove that fear. You're gonna fail. You have to fail. The earlier you fail is better because that means you get an opportunity to grow much quickly. Every day there would happen a thing which will make you think that I failed. I should have known this much. Such a simple thing. How could I have forgotten? So stupid of me. These are things which could cross your mind, and it does, at least to me. That's so stupid of me. How could I have forgotten such a simple thing? I've done it so many times and I still missed out. It would. But don't worry, these things are bound to happen. And life is all about challenges. Every day there's a new challenge which happens, and you'll always find a way to face that challenge. And go by your gut. If you have a gut feel, don't worry to swim across the tide, because the biggest strength of an entrepreneur is his gut feel. Because the gut feel that you possess, nobody else can have it. And if you have the right gut feel, it would bring you lots of success. Obviously, you got to be a smart guy to have the smart gut feels. You can't just have any gut feel and then go about doing something stupid. But if you have the right gut feel, then go ahead and do it, and don't be scared, as I said, to fail. First, I can think of goes back to 1999. I went to London to sell real estate for a month-long program where I had exhibitions at various hotels for Indians. And I went with a project. I took models. There was no computer. There was not enough of things which could do. People do it online, so we had to really take the hard stuff like models and everything, ship brochures. So it's quite a lot of material that you're carrying in. And I went to London. I stayed there for a month, all on my own. That was probably my second or third trip in my life out of India ever, and probably the first all alone. So I was shit scared through that whole month, because in a foreign country, staying all alone. And it was my most satisfying experience after the month because I did not sell a single thing and I came back. But I learned so much out of that 1 month of experience that it holds me so well even today because I could really understand, and I failed. So that's probably I failed, but I think it was a very satisfying experience because it made me all of a sudden grow me by a couple of years. That 1 month really grew me up by a number of years. So I had a personal growth, I had a professional growth out of that 1 month of experience. So that was one of my first experience, which was not too good, professionally speaking. My another satisfying experience was when I was able to open a sports facility at Gulmohar Greens, which is one of its kind and probably the only of its kind in the country right now, where within one building we have all the sports from tennis, badminton, squash, billiards, table tennis, gym, aerobics, swimming, spa, their changing rooms, everything put under one. And it was done up so well that when I presented this to our then Chief Minister Narendra Bhai Modi, he was so highly impressed that he said, I'll want to come and do the inauguration. So that was one very big satisfying moment where a Chief Minister was ready to come and do a opening for a club. So which was a big thing for me.